What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. We are live right now on Twitter, YouTube, and on Rockfin, of course. So, I want to do some shout outs real quick. We'll get started. What's going on, Ruben? Over there on the tubes. We got a bunch of people watching on Twitter right now, also. Got a few people watching on Rockfin. My Rockfin peeps at. All right. Let us go ahead and get this show on the road. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mika Says Sukats. And of course, as always, I am your humble host, Niko House. Today, I wanted to talk about Andrew Cuomo being fired from CNN. Now, a lot of you already know he was suspended from CNN last week after allegations had come up that, not Andrew, I said Andrew Cuomo, my bad, Chris Cuomo. They look alike. They both have fake Italian accents. You know, it's easy to confuse them. Chris Cuomo was suspended last week, initially because there were allegations that were made that he had actually taken part in assisting Andrew Cuomo in his sexual misconduct situation, more so than what he originally led on. So it turns out that it was actually worse than that. The Attorney General, I don't know why they said it leaked, but she released text messages, and it showed that the Attorney General of New York, it showed that Chris Cuomo actually assisted Andrew, his brother, in a PR campaign and tried to use his influence at CNN to dig up dirt on Andrew Cuomo's victims so that they would be less credible in the eyes of the media and the court of law, so he could save his brother's job. Now, what's interesting about this is it shouldn't be actually unexpected because Chris Cuomo was very clear. You know, I'm going to defend my brother. I'm going to do it as, it's my family. He said that on air. He was being honest, clearly, because that's what happened. He did try to defend his brother, even at the cost of his, or at least almost at the cost of the victims of Andrew Cuomo. Now, that was, by the way, just one aspect. Chris Cuomo did a lot. Put it like that. He did a lot to try to get Andrew Cuomo out of this snazzle that he ended up in. Once again, I feel like I should also say this as a disclaimer. What Andrew Cuomo did was horrible, but he should have gotten lambasted for that after he got fired for putting COVID patients in nursing homes for money, the executive policy. That's actually what he should have been fired for and then put in jail for. So him getting fired from his job while still actually not facing any real jail time, at least thus far, for the sexual misconduct is like, that's not what he should be receiving right now. It should be far worse, honestly. So like, I just want to go ahead and put that out there. But in addition to helping his brother seek to discredit his accusers, Cuomo came under allegations himself now after being fired. So on Sunday, attorney Deborah Katz said that she contacted the network on Wednesday to report her client's fresh allegations against Chris Cuomo. She said in the wake of public sexual harassment allegations against former Governor Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo looked directly into the camera and told his viewers of Cuomo Primetime, "I have always cared deeply about these issues, and profoundly so. I just want to tell you that," Katz, the attorney representing the anonymous client, said, basically demonstrating how absolutely hypocritical and full of it Chris Cuomo actually is. I'm glad he was fired, honestly. Now, part of me would like to believe that genuinely he is being fired because of his misconduct with his brother and his misconduct with these women. And by the way, that was just one accuser. Apparently, there have been multiple accusers in the workplace making allegations against Cuomo since this situation came about, the suspensions came about. I would like to reiterate, I would like to believe that that is the real reason. I would like to believe that what he did with Andrew Cuomo is legitimately why he's being fired, that what's happening with these women are legitimately why he's being fired. However, I do think there is something larger afoot, and I do believe that the revelations that I don't actually think are revelations, but merely things that have been known but are merely being put in light right now have come about. So I think that there could be something going on behind the scenes that is causing Chris Cuomo's exodus, but also maybe in the very near future, the exodus of other major personalities on CNN that have been contracted with lucrative deals. So back in May, AT&T announced a deal to combine its content unit with Warner Media, to combine its content unit Warner Media with Discovery. Now, under the agreement, AT&T will unwind its $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner, which closed. Good luck with that, by the way, because Time Warner is trash. I mean, it's already bad enough there's nothing on cable TV as it is, but then Time Warner made it damn near impossible for you to watch whatever it was anyway. So while charging you more and more every year, but that's not here nor there. Which closed just about 3 years ago and formed a new separate media company with Discovery. It will bring together AT&T owned CNN, HBO, and the Warner Brothers Studio and Discovery channels, including Animal Planet TLC and its namesake Discovery Channel, of course. At the time of the announcement, the parties had said they hope to close the transaction at the middle of next year. Now, could this actually have something to do with CNN's plummeting ratings? By this, I mean them being bought, Cuomo being fired, and all of this information happening conveniently, right? Now, John, I want to get his name correct. John Malone, I want to say his name is. Yeah, John Malone actually said, and he's the CEO of Liberty Media, and Liberty Media is like one of the largest stakeholders in Discovery. He said in an interview with MSNBC that it'll actually be a coward's move to fire or to get rid of CNN completely, and that he believes that they can be remodeled and have a distinct place, and a successful one, in this new merger. So he was suggesting that this isn't happening. He even said the CEO of Discover made it pretty clear that it's not happening either. But he said he wants to shift. Here's what he said directly. I would like to see CNN evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with and actually have journalists, which would be unique and refreshing, which is kind of hilarious because I actually agree with that sentiment. He said the TV cable pioneer, longtime chairman of Liberty Media, which is a major shareholder in Discovery. I do believe good journalism could have a role in this future portfolio that Discovery, Time Warner's going to represent. So he's made it clear that even though they're making this merger, they do want to keep CNN. Now, part of the reason, in my humble opinion, that Warner is suffering is largely because of CNN, who has also been suffering in historically bad approval ratings in the post-Trump era. So let's go ahead and check out some of those numbers really quick. So, and this is something from earlier this year. I think their numbers actually got worse until Chris Cuomo got suspended, actually. And then they went up for that night when Anderson Cooper took over, because everybody was expecting him to address the Chris Cuomo incident. So, as you can see right here, let me zoom a little bit. So John Concha, if I'm not mistaken, John Concha is from The Hill. It said the drop, CNN, this is from May 10th, I believe, by the way, May 10th, 2021. So the drop CNN is experiencing is profound. On Friday, not one program broke 900,000 total viewers. And that obviously would be including Chris Cuomo's. So prime time average less than 800,000 viewers overall. For comparison, the network averaged 2.74 million in viewers in January. So we're talking about more than 2/3 of their audience gone. And here are the numbers right there. You can see them. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Look at this. You know you're doing bad. You're getting beat by MSNBC because I don't know what the hell they be talking about. They just be. So when you're looking at numbers this bad, or even now, right? So even right now, before Cuomo was fired, his show only averaged 774,000 viewers. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I know several, especially before the, adpocalypse, whatever you want to call it, especially before everybody started getting censored, there were several shows getting that are close to it on YouTube. Maybe half with like none of the staff and none of the major, contracts. And the major backing and the push of a network as big as Warner Media. And that's, like I said, it's Cuomo's show, which was at the time one of the most popular show, or any given night, the most popular show on CNN. 774,000 viewers is what it was averaging. So do I believe that these allegations gave a reason for Chris Cuomo to be held accountable finally? Yes. Do I believe that they have something to do with him being fired? Yes. Do I believe that if he was doing better when it came to the numbers, he would have been fired? No, I do not. Because when he was getting the numbers, he tried to quit and talked about how much he hated being in mainstream media on XM radio. Remember, everybody, when he was out with COVID, had to take a little break, did an interview saying he was not going back to work. Somebody made 2 phone calls and he was like, change my mind, just kidding. Because he was too valuable to CNN at the time. CNN's numbers drop overall. Chris Cuomo, who was in prime time, dropped significantly. Now, all of a sudden, allegations come out that should have probably already been made public. Now we know just how much he was influencing Andrew Cuomo's situation, even though we've been known that. Even though this isn't new, by the way, this type of media influence to protect politicians, of course we know is not new. Not Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, if you've been watching the trial. This isn't new. The way they protected Bill Clinton, for example, when they knew that he was on Epstein's plane, when this was in mainstream media pieces, they knew and didn't say anything about it. So this isn't new what Chris Cuomo did, unfortunately. But it's tanking ratings in the post-Trump era of journalism. Made it pretty easy for him to be fired. And so I surmise that there might be a cleaning of the house, if you will, because this isn't just Chris Cuomo's ratings dropping, or else I doubt that Warner Media would have been, they wouldn't have been able to acquire, or excuse me, Discovery wouldn't have been able to acquire Warner Media, in my opinion, so easily if CNN was on top like they have been in the past. But you got, Warner, this is Warner Media. So for all my movie going fans, yeah, this is a DC franchise, people. Yeah, that got the only maybe movie that they've gotten right, which in my opinion would be the new Suicide Squad, is because they literally got somebody from Marvel to direct it. And like a lot of the actors in this movie are Marvel actors, which is hilarious. So they're sinking DC franchise in Warner. But they, HBO is part of this merger too. So HBO's doing decent, but like you got sinking movie franchise that they put at this point, I think billions of dollars into. You got failing CNN who put all this money and clout behind a Kamala Harris and a Biden, where they protected them during the election to help them get elected. They've been protecting them lately, and it's been costing them. And then you have all of a sudden Chris Cuomo being fired, which I'm sure he wouldn't have been able to do without just cause, and a significant cause, by the way, because of the contract situation. And these contracts are pretty lucrative. So that's why I think that you might see allegations start coming out against a lot of these big name CNN people. So I would love to see how that's going to emerge in it. And who knows? Maybe John Malone is intelligent. I mean, obviously he's the CEO of a billion-dollar company. He's been that for a while now. But maybe he's smart enough to know, like, why are we being stupid? Literally, if you look at independent journalism and what it's become, if you look at the Joe Rogans of the world, if you look at the Jimmy Dores of the world, if you look at even the MCSC network, who started with nothing. If you look at what independent media has accomplished over the last 4 or 5 years, influenced the outcome of elections, of judicial decisions, of activism, why wouldn't you just do the profitable thing, the marketable thing, which is good journalism, groundbreaking journalism, and bring in some new, young, and inspiring talent that doesn't have the baggage that the Chris Cuomo's, Anderson Cooper's, on the MSNBC side, Rachel Maddow, et cetera. Like, bring in fresh voices and do good journalism, not because it's the altruistic thing to do, but because it is actually the most profitable thing for mainstream media to do. Fox News gets away with a lot, but gets a lot of views because once every fortnight, they let Tucker Carlson do good journalism. And that one 15-minute segment of Tucker Carlson doing good journalism, they blow up. They get money from it. It's a good business decision. So unfortunately, he was fired, in my opinion, for business reasons, not necessarily for like these altruistic reasons of them trying to uphold CNN's long touted history of honor and dignity. So I would love to know what y'all think about this. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment below, and tell me, what do you think? Do you think that Chris Cuomo was fired because of the sexual assault allegations against him and because of him protecting his brother by even using his position at CNN to try and get dirt on his brother's accusers? Or do you think that it's more about ratings, this new merger, them cleaning house, and trying to make CNN the money machine that it once was in the Trump era? Let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. But always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.